Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an update to the Clayton Echard paternity scandal known as the hoax heard round the world. From Brett at Ravgen in Maryland all the way to Liz Neptune in Florida, skipping around Megan Fox in New York, all the way to legal vices in South Korea, all over Los Angeles to my Superior Court case on February 8th. And now we are here in Nashville. So all over the country, we are discussing a lady in Scottsdale who is wondering why we are so infatuated with her, I guess, dating history, you should call it. Well, we're not. We're infatuated with her abuse of the systems that are put in place, socialized by all of us good-natured people here in the U.S. with our tax dollars to provide safety, to provide security, to provide well-being and reassurance to all of us that we live in a protected society from monsters, right? That's what the police are supposed to do. They're supposed to serve and protect. And in trying to do that, people will abuse the system. I've got right here dozens of phone calls and reports from the Scottsdale Police Department. I mean, dozens right here that all show different times there have been welfare checks, reporting of restraining orders, emergency phone calls. I mean, there probably is a phone line at the Scottsdale Police Department just dedicated to Jane Doe. I tell you what, if I lived in Scottsdale or Arizona, I'd be very annoyed if my tax dollars were going towards this really, really unhinged level of bandwidth here. Well, what we're going to talk about now is the moment that Jane Doe, I guess, accused Clayton Echard of violating a restraining order, an order of protection, which could be about a year in jail or a fine or whatever. It would not be a good look if Clayton Echard was violating that order of protection. So we're going to get into that right now. I'm going to share some new documents you've never seen. And I'm also going to play a little bit of audio from a phone call. So either way, if you want to stick around after this video on the Patreon, which is the private membership-only community, I'm going to be going over the hypothetical docu-series. If there were an 8-episode docu-series coming out regarding this story, who would want to talk in it? So yesterday on the Patreon, we went through all of the different episodes. Very interesting. I'm getting really good input from people. And again, this is just a hypothetical, but how would the show open? If it were on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or HBO, how would we drop the hammer on this monster known as Clayton Echard and then realizing he's just the victim of an elaborate hoax to attach yourself to powerful men in some sort of way to ruin their lives? We don't know what the motives are here, right? But what we do know is Jane Doe, credit to her in one way, has not changed. There's only one thing she's really not changed her sort of stance on, and that is that she was pregnant with Clayton's twins. She says she was, and whenever Clayton decides to say, no, you weren't, she says, he's violating a restraining order. So here it is, folks. Posted here, the Seeking Justice for Clayton Twitter account from Reddit. Jane Doe calls the police on January 2nd, claiming that Clayton violated his order of protection. I get it. January 2nd is a tough day. January 1st, you're hungover, but you're still having like baked ham and champagne and mimosas. You're having a good time. January 2nd hits hard. The Monster Energy drink wore off. You know, the horses are acting up in the stable. They need to be combed. I mean, you got to spend a lot of time. By the way, aren't horses supposed to be therapeutic? Aren't they supposed to calm you down? Either way, here it is. She's called the reporting person, RP. Jane Doe states the order stipulates that defendant Clayton shall not communicate or post untrue or harassing comments regarding the plaintiff online, including but not limited to on social media, and shall not cause others to communicate or post untrue or harassing comments regarding plaintiff online or otherwise. How the hell are we supposed to link Clayton encouraging others to talk about it? So she's saying that by Clayton saying he didn't have a baby with her or whatever, that's causing others to communicate or post untrue or harassing comments. It seems as if Jane Doe misunderstands truth, opinion from harassment. My truth, what I believe to be true, isn't necessarily harassing of you, unless I maliciously share a lie. Like if I were to say something crazy, which I wouldn't, because she'll take this and snip it out of content and try to raise money with some fertility groups to come after me in some elaborate lawsuit until they find out she's on the wrong side of the story. And then like many of her former boyfriends and many of her former lawyers, they all say no and they run away. Boy, this should be a support group for lawyers and former boyfriends of Jane Doe. They can all, I don't know if the room's big enough. They need to rent out a VFW hall. All right. But either way, the police are onto her. You know why I know they're onto her? Because they get phone calls from her all the time. Look, just a snippet. We'll play more on this later.
Scottsdale Police.
Hi, I was wondering if I could report a violation of an order of protection. It's not an emergency.
Okay. At what location?
By the way, her tone is like the same tone I would have if I was ordering takeout. Hi, I'd like to place an order for 2 pizzas. Oh, they're already hot and ready? Okay, can I get a large 2-liter Diet Coke with that? Coke Zero? If there is a Coke Zero, I would prefer that over a Diet Coke. I don't know what they put in that Coke Zero. It's just a superior product. I enjoy the branding better. And when that carbonation hits my lips, it just feels great, especially on a Friday. Yes, I would like these pizzas. I'm going to need them for noon Central Time. I'll be on Dave Neal's Patreon, where he's going to be dropping more information regarding this phone call. Okay, it's coming up right now.
It's actually been an online, harassment thing.
And what's your address here in Scottsdale?
I'd like to report an online harassment thing. And also, do you deliver Chinese? Can we get some Chinese? I like those. What the crab rangoons? What do they put in those crab rangoons? I mean, her tone is just bizarre.
Scottsdale Police.
Hi, I was wondering if I could report a violation of an order of protection. It's not an emergency.
Do you have outdoor dining? Because I feel like I'm gonna. What? Okay, there'll be more on that later. We're just receiving some of these phone calls that, of course, it's all public records. When you get the police involved, when when Dave Neal starts clapping, you are. Okay, that's my. Okay, it's a long beep. Either way, so. It's not going to go well for her. The police, they're onto her. Responding, so reporting person Jane stated that the Sun had a post labeled "Baby Bombshell" published by Diane Cooper. A quote was used from Clayton Echard about the pregnancy and stated, "She was never pregnant at any point in time with my children." Reporting person Jane Doe was asked if she had a paternity test while she was pregnant. So they say, well, did you prove that he was the father? And then reporting party was asked if she had a paternity test while she was pregnant to prove this statement untrue. Reporting party stated she did not have one, but knows her pregnancy was his. Ladies and gentlemen, she's basically lying. She did have a paternity test. Oh, did you have what? Hi, I'd like to request a paternity. Did you have one No, officer. I didn't have one paternity test. She had 4. Well, technically I had 3. 2 of them showed little to no signs of fetal DNA, but 1 was lost in transit. What was in the one lost in transit? My guess is the one lost in transit contained all of the fetal DNA. How about the 4th test? Well, she didn't want to take it. Why? I don't know. Maybe she ran out of, literally they're going to dehydrate her. She's going to run out of urine or blood or whatever the hell from all the tests she has to take just to show there ain't no fetal DNA. I feel like that's a country song. Ain't no fetal DNA, not in my... Okay, somebody get on that, please. So anyway, that's it. Case closed. Event closed. They reported it. They wrote it down. And now we get to read it publicly. That's how it works. So either way, of course... I don't say, didn't say I went off on her, but I told her, let's set some boundaries here. You want to sue me for harassment. Don't bring my family into this. Megan Fox gave me some love here. It's fun to see, people get so excited when I get angry. And the truth is, not much about this case does make me angry. Like, I maintain my composure in part because I know if I raise my voice, she'll clip that and probably try to raise funds. She's trying to go to like the ACLU and fertility groups. Why do I know that? Well, she told me. Best friend Janie Doe over here. All right, told me. By the way, she's got a massive crush on me. I mean, come on. I've never been more convinced someone's in love with me. It's like, listen, come on. I got a ring. It fits on the finger. I've been pretty bloated lately. I can't get it off. I had some Little Caesars pizza with the Coke Zero. The ring's stuck. Okay. So unless you show up with one of those saws, please don't do that. Either way, here's Megan Fox reacting to my strong words. Trust law enforcement's ability to command more respect. Let's see what law enforcement has to say about this. And by the way, Jane Doe, if you're listening, get my wife's fucking name out of your fucking mouth. All right, I tried to censor it.
Yeah, tell her. Tell her it's time to stand up to this woman. This woman is out of control. She cannot do these things to people. You want to talk about harassment, and if any YouTube, Team YouTube member is watching this because it's going to be reported as cyberbullying and harassment, let me just be very clear. We are reporting on a serial harasser. Ooh, bingo! I might have bingo. I said serial harasser. Let's get that one. Let's get that one, serial harasser.
All right, so there's Megan Fox doing the bingo. Okay, she's been a real, pivotal ally here when it comes to these conversations, which we need. We've needed enforcements. I've been like the starting pitcher here in the 7th inning. My arm's getting tired. Please, somebody come in and relieve me. And of course, Megan Fox, along with others, have been there for all of these important moments. So. What else is out there? Like I said, I've got some information. It's coming in. It's literally coming in right now. Sometimes I have to wait till I have permission to post from these good people. Part of the trust that comes with covering this stuff is sources want to know they're not going to be outed, and people want to trust they're going to share things with me when their sort of community feels it's the right time to share. On a side note, I understand. There's the flock. There's members of Reddit. There's Twitter accounts. There's myself. There's a lot of people. There's Megan Fox. There's a lot of people that are working in different ways to get the information out. I'm sure there's people that are anonymous that have some level of bitterness towards me because I'm covering this, but also like this is part of my channel. My channel's monetized. This is part of my livelihood, right? So I can understand that some people are upset about maybe that, or they want credit in a documentary and all these different things. And all I can say is like, look, it's hard to give credit. And by the way, I give boatloads to the flock and to different people, but it's hard to give credit to like individuals that are anonymous. So when people want to show up and give information, we use all of that. But at the same time, we all have to remember we're on the same team here, which is the Justice for Clayton team. Now, if there were a documentary, which again, we'll talk about on the Patreon, there'll be people like, who can you interview? Well, how about Susie Evans? Well, she'd give a great character statement to Clayton Echard. How about, Greg Gillespie? Him and his girlfriend just had a baby this week. Congratulations. His girlfriend was the one who encouraged Greg to make sure to get out there and warn Clayton. Greg didn't want, people don't want to deal with this when they're done with it, right? And then we have Mike, right? Mike hasn't really talked much, but we have all of these court cases and documents coming in here where Mike shares, shocking information. Again, from 5 to 6 years ago, and he's only victim number 1. Now we know there's a victim number 0 who probably wasn't in the court system, so we don't have public statements, but damned if we can't see if victim number 0 wants to talk. Within hours of mentioning victim number 0, my lawyer's already getting emails from Janie Doe. What does she think? Victim number 0, he's going to tell us the same story, which is, he said, for the sake of Jane Doe's mental and emotional stability, I tried to work things out with her and have her friendship, but she has been continued to be focused on having a permanent relationship with me, which I do not want. He said he shows text messages between him and her parents. The allegations she made are totally fabricated from a young woman who has threatened suicide multiple times, hospitalized for depression. Looks clearly there's stuff that's off. He was probably, I don't know, my guess is he was probably doing the booty call thing with her. That's how their relationship started, loose and casual. When she wanted it to get serious, look, here's what happens, right? If you're out there in the world partying, you go, blowjob here, one night stand here, all consensual stuff, that's fine. When one person says, what are we? Are we going to Christmases? Or will you be my Valentine? When that starts happening and the other person goes, I was just in it for this mutual transaction of penis and vagina. That's what, or penis and throat, whatever. I was just in it for that thing we agreed on. We were both going to try to come, maybe watch some football after, get a Hot Pocket or two. I don't know. Maybe try not to burn the roof over our mouth. Who knows? Maybe it's a seasonal time. We'll get hot chili but I was in it for that. You and I had a thing going on. That's all we were. Oh, but now you want to be more, and it's over. And then usually when that ends, again, I don't mean to mansplain how relationships go, but when that ends, someone goes, oh no, I guess I want something that you can't provide me. I'll move on. Or not one, not two, not three, possibly 4 times when confronted with a relationship ending, you attach yourself to the man by faking a pregnancy. Right? At least the cops now are going, where's that evidence? Hey, Scottsdale Police, welcome to the community. I'll be back on Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll see what of this I can share with you. I'm still trying to get information regarding sharing some of these documents, sharing voice calls here, claiming that orders of protection are being violated. By the way, she has not once, I believe, caught one of these guys violating the orders. She gets an order of protection against them to say, you're not allowed near me. And the men say, thank the heavens. And then they abide, right? That's all. But every time they talk, she calls and says, okay, so, boy, wouldn't it be nice if we could audit these phone calls and bill her? Like, hey, how about we charge her $50 an hour for the amount of time she has wasted, and we can, put that back into the system. You know what I mean? We could buy a new fire truck with all the money. Anyway, we'll be back with more content on patreon.com/Dave Neal right after this.